E-N-D. So gender first, then E, encasing, hal. Encasing, the hal, number, and then definite or indefinite. Gend. That is where gend comes in. So if you look at this word, al-kalimataini, for example, and we're going to open up the rest of the words and then you're going to do it in a group. Al-kalimataini, if you look at the hal of the word, what hal is this word in? Sorry? Nasb or jar. Nasb or jar. What sign tells you that it's in nasb or jar? Aini. 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 So this is a dual word. Does everyone remember this is a dual word? The word in its rough form would be al-kalima tani. Al-kalima tani. In kalima tani, that is halatul raf. Then it changes on your hal table. It changes to aini and aini again. Aini is halatul nasb or halatul jar. It can be one of the two. Later on, inshallah, you will find that in context, you will be able to find out, is it nasb or is it jar? Something affects the word. Something that comes before the word affects the word to cause it to be in halatul nasb or cause it to be in halatul jar. That's what we're going to learn at a later stage. For now, when you see aini, it's halatul nasb or it's halatul jar. Always. Standard. Okay? So, if we look at definiteness or indefiniteness, what is this word? Definite or indefinite? Definite. It is ma'rifah. How do we know that? Because of the al. Whenever you see an al connected to the word, immediately you know it's definite. It is ma'rifah. Ma'rifah. Okay? Then, if you look at gender, gender, is this mudhakkar or mu'annath? Mudhakkar. Do we agree it's mudhakkar? How do we know that? There's no sign of femininity. There's no sign of femininity. So you'll see the ta marbuta at the end, or the alif, or the hamza, or the ya that has no dots. It's actually a alif maksura. It's a alif that is turned around. It's the ya without the dots. If one of those signs are there, then you know it's a feminine word. Do you see any of the signs here? No. So then you know it is feminine. And now we're looking at number. Adadun. We're looking at number. Sorry. Yes, so it's masculine, mudhakkar. Now we're looking at number, adadun. Is this mufrad, muthanna, or jam? Mufrad, muthanna, or jam? Sorry? You didn't do number yet. Okay. So number, how number is going to work is, you're going to get your singular words. Kitabun, a book. Waladun, a boy. Rasulun, a messenger. Sayyaratun, a car. Masjidun, a masjid. Then a word can then go from singular and it can go to dual. You did that. So that's number. That's number. Mufrad, singular. Muthanna is dual. Unless you weren't here. You were here? You weren't here? Okay, you weren't here. So they did do it. You're confusing me. Khair. So you did going from mufrad to the dual. How does it go to dual? By adding ani. There's a slide that we're going to do that is going to show us that. So by adding ani, alif and noon, it makes the singular word dual. Then it can change to aini, which we're seeing here now. Halatul raf, the hal of raf is ani. Halatul nasb jar is aini. Is everybody with me? So what we're going to do now is we're going to look at the rest of the words. Rasulani, sa'atani, and al-qamarani. And with your partner or in your group, you're going to go through hal, definiteness, gender, and adadun, number. So you have to look at all. You have to look at Rasulani. You have to say, what hal is this word in? Is it raf, nasb, or jar? You have to look at the definiteness. Is it definite or indefinite? Ma'rifa or nakira? You have to look at gender. Is it mudhakkar or mu'annath? And you need to look at adad. Is this mufrad, muthanna, or jam? Everyone got that? Any questions? Okay, khair, bismillah. Sorry? You didn't do number. Okay, so just hold on quickly. Okay. Jam. Okay, khair. So again, there was someone that mentioned now that all three wasn't done. Today, we're going to do the lesson of jam, plural. What you did do, you had introduction to mufrad, singular words. You then went from singular to dual, adding ani. All these words here, aini, Ani. So you know that. It's fine. You can do it. Bismillah. You can do the work. Tariq. 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 Connect this. Hey. Bismillah. Sorry. Okay. My laptop charged now. The laptop needs to be charged. How come you changing it now again?
See the options that you give me is not duplicate on 1, 2 and 3. Three are this thing and projector.
So, so why is it not showing?
So it's not showing on here.
Oh,
This is the broadcast. And that's giving me the option to show on it, which is
and then you have to leave it just for the 2 so long. You have to continue the class. Okay, Khair, let's continue. put on the slide. Okay, so everyone complete that exercise with your partner. Let's look at the second word, Rasulani. Let's look at the hal. Rasulani, is this raf, nasb, or jar? We know this is raf because of ani. Is it definite or indefinite? Indefinite. Arabic? Nakira. So this word is nakira, it is indefinite. Means the al won't be there and there will be a tanween, the sign, or the ani over here. As we know, in the singular form it will be an, or in. And if it has the al, then it won't have the tanween at the end. It will be u, a, or I. Let's look at gender. Is this masculine or feminine? Masculine. How do we know that? There's no signs of femininity, so then it is mudhakkar. And if you look at number, mufrad or muthanna? Mufrad or muthanna? Mufrad or muthanna? Mufrad or muthanna? Muthanna. We are busy with dual. We are busy with dual. Ani is the sign that tells us that it is dual. There's a question that came up now, and I'll answer it as soon as we're done with the last word. Let's look at sa'atani. Sa'atani. It comes from the word sa'atun. I'm giving you a heads up there. Sa'atun. So it becomes sa'atani. What hal is this word in? Halatul raf. We see ani. Ma'rifa or nakira. So what is nakira? There's no aldi. Mudhakkar or mu'annath. Mudhakkar or mu'annath. Mu'annath, why? Okay, so this was the question. To determine the gender of a dual word, do we still look at the ending of the word or the end of the singular word? So each word we know in its original form, like sa'atun, and that's why I gave the heads up. Sa'atun, because it has the ta marbuta at the end. When it becomes dual, it becomes sa'atani. Sa'atani. There's some words that's going to have the ta, not the round ta. If it has a normal ta, not the round ta, the normal ta, then it doesn't make it feminine. Okay, so I can't think of an example. Can you think of an example with a word with a round ta at the end? Baytun. Baytun has the round ta. I'm sorry, the normal ta, not the round ta. So baytun is masculine or feminine? Masculine. Only when it has the round ta, then it will be feminine. So the word sa'atun has the round ta. Sa'atun has the round ta. When it then changes to dual, it becomes sa'atani. So this is a feminine word. Kalimataini. Good question. Kalimatun. Kalimatun has the ta marbuta at the end. Then it does. That's correct. MashaAllah. Okay. Khair. So the word kalimatun has the ta marbuta at the end. That's correct. So then the gender of that will then be feminine. I didn't even pick that up. Shukran for that. So the word sa'atani as well comes from sa'atun. Sa'atun is the round ta. And when you make it dual, it becomes sa'atani, keeping the ta to show femininity, and thus the gender of this is mu'annath. And then the number, mufrad, muthanna, or jam. It's definitely muthanna, the dual form. Then let's look at the last word, al-qamarani. Al-qamarani. If we look at what hal is it in? Halatul raf. An is there, so we know it's halatul raf. That's the sign. Is it definite or indefinite? It is definite. It is ma'rifa. How do we know that? Because of the al. Gender. What gender is it? This is mudhakkar. There's no signs of femininity, so it's mudhakkar. And then the last one, number. Mufrad, muthanna, or jam. Muthanna, it is dual. So everyone did that. Everyone understand that? Any questions? But Zain, you look a little bit, confused. Speak to me. What's the problem? Anyone got any questions on what we done now? Qamar? No. How do I know that? When Ibrahim alayhi salam, he goes out and then he looks at the moon. فَلَمَّا رَأَى الْقَمَرَ بَازِغًا. He gives a description of it in the masculine form. When he speaks about the moon, فَلَمَّا رَأَى الشَّمْسَ بَازِغَةً, he gives a description of the shams in the feminine form. So the shams, the word shams, sun, is feminine, and we'll get into that detail a bit later. But the word qamar is not deemed feminine. Okay, any other questions before we continue? Yes. Okay. So there's a quick question on the word sa'atani. In the original singular form, a word will either be masculine or feminine based on the sign. So if you look at waladun, masculine, rasulun, masculine, masjidun, masculine. If you look at the word sayyaratun, feminine because of the sign. If you look at the word kalimatun, tamarbuta, kalimatun, feminine. Another word that's feminine, tamarbuta. Can't think of more examples. But anyway, in your singular form, you're going to have masculine words. That's the sign, that's the round ta is going to tell you that that word is feminine. When you then cross over from singular to dual, that ta is going to be kept. That ta is going to be kept. So if you look at the word al-kalimataini, it's supposed to be the singular form, kalimatun, al-kalimatu. Everyone with me? Al-kalimatu, the word. When you make it dual, we know the hal table, it can be one of two options, al-kalimatani or al-kalimataini. The ta is there. The original word had the ta marbuta, showing that it's feminine. When it goes over, it keeps that ta, and it's showing us that it's feminine. That's the one. Sa'atani, the word is sa'atun, ta marbuta at the end. That word is showing us, that sign is showing us that the word is feminine. When you take it over, it can become sa'atani or sa'ataini. The ta is kept. That is showing us the sign that it is feminine. What will be good to always do in such a case is look at the singular form of it. Find the singular form and look at the singular form. If the singular form has the round ta, and then it will be feminine. Because there's going to be times like we mentioned now, bait. So baitani also has the tani sign. But if you go back to the word bait, it is the flat ta. And that is not a feminine word. Everyone with me? Any other questions before we continue? Yes. Words that are deemed feminine, I don't think we must get into that now. Did you do those words that are deemed feminine? Yes. Okay. So there are certain words, mu'annas sama'i or mu'annas sima'i. We heard the Arabs speak like that. If it comes in the Quran, we see a description given to it in the feminine form. We don't understand why. We don't know what is happening. Why is this word feminine or masculine, but the description given to it is feminine? For example, the word shams. Shams has no signs of femininity. No signs of femininity. But in the Quran, when the description is given about the shams, it's given in the feminine form. So you will look at this and you'll say, okay, this is one of those words that are mu'annas sama'i. We heard the Arabs speak of it in that particular form. So when you say that the sun is hot, for example, the sifa, the description that is given will be in the feminine form. And there are a few words that is generally taken out and put into a category, and you will look at those words. So those words you won't know by just looking at it. It becomes, you get used to it after a certain amount of time, or it's taken out and it's put into a category and you would memorize those words. But the only way you can see that is in context. Very difficult to look at any random word and then be able to say this is feminine because it's deemed to be feminine. It's only going to be in context that we're going to be able to see that. Those are feminine. So why this discussion on femininity, or the word that sounds as if it's feminine. You're going to see it in the Quran. Like I gave the example now. Ibrahim alayhi salam comes out and he says, he looks at the moon and he says, and this is a discussion that happens in the Quran to prove to his people. He looks at the moon and he says, this is my Lord. And then he comes to the conclusion, no, the moon just disappeared. This cannot be my Lord. But it says there, فَلَمَّا رَأَى الْقَمَرَ, and he gives a description, بَازِغًا, when it was open. بَازِغًا. He gives a masculine description. When he speaks about the sun, فَلَمَّا رَأَى الشَّمْسَ بَازِغَةً, he gives a feminine description. So there we see, hey, this word shams is a feminine word. We see the Quran being used like that, and we hear the Arabs using it like that. Didn't want to get into that, but I hope that makes sense. Everyone understand that? The mu'annas sama'i words, they're going to be words that are feminine, that's not going to have a sign. That's all you need to know for now. There's going to be words, and it's a select category of words that's going to be feminine, that's not going to have a sign. We heard the Arabs using it like that, and it comes in Quran like that. Thus we know those words are feminine. Good to go? Okay. Then we're going to do some homework, page 1.7. Oh, sorry, worksheet 1.7. Please take that out, and then we'll go through that quickly. Okay, so quickly go through the homework with a friend, check it, and then we'll have it put on the board and we'll check it. Go through page worksheet 1.7 with a friend, with a partner, check it, check all of those few examples, and then we'll have it put on the board quickly. Okay, is more time needed for that? Is it completed? Okay, khair. So a noun is always in one of three different conditions, one of three different states, one of three different hals. What are those three hals? Raf, nasb, and jar. Okay, so we're going to look at the mufrad word, the first one, salihun. This is in halatu raf. Salihun. How do we know it's in halatu raf? The sign, un. It's either going to be un or u, if there's an al connected to it. Then we're going to go to the nasb line. What is it going to look like when it is in nasb? It's going to be sali, salihan, salihan. And when it is in halatul jar, salihin. Everyone got that? Everyone agree with that? So there's one of three hals, raf, nasb, and jar. In the singular form, raf is what sign? U or un. In the nasb hal, A or an in the jar hal, I or in. Excellent. Let's go to the next word. The dual form of salihun in raf. Salihani. So the sign ani means it's dual, number one, and ani also tells you that is in what hal? Halat raf. So the ani sign is going to tell you two things. Number one, it's dual, and it's going to tell you the hal that it's in. What hal is it in? Halat raf. Excellent. So now the change then happens. Ani can become only aini. So in nasb it's going to be aini, and in jar it's going to be aini. And at a later stage, how are we going to know if it's nasb or jar? The context is going to tell us what hal it is in. Every hal, there's a reason for that hal. So either it's the doer, that's why it's in that hal, or it's the done upon, that's why it's that hal, or something else is affecting it, causing it to be in a hal. So when you know the effects of whatever comes before it, you will know what hal it is in. Everyone understand that? So at a later stage, you will know exactly if it's halat al-nasb or halat al-jar. Khair. We look at the word al-muslimu. This is in the mufrad, the singular form. This is, what hal is this? Halat al-raf. In nasb, what is it then going to look like? Al-musli, al-muslimah. How do we know that is halat al-nasb? Because of the fatha sign. The fatha tells us that it's in halat nasb. And in jar, al-musli, al-muslimi. So this is halatul jar. Again, raf, u or un, nasb, a or an, jar, I or in. This is the mufrad form. Now dual, al-muslimu, in the muthanna form, in the dual form. How do we say the two Muslims? Al-muslimani. What hal is this in? Halatul raf. How do we know that? Because of the aini sign. Aini is going to tell us two things. What is it going to tell us? It is dual and it's in halatul raf. Good. Ani then becomes aini and aini again. Aini is either halatul nasb or halatul jar. Aini is going to tell us two things. What is it going to tell us? It is dual and it's either nasb or jar. Everyone with us? Everyone with us? Sure. We don't want to leave anyone behind. Okay. And then I think this is the last one. As-salihu. Did we do this one already? No. Okay, khair. Mufrad. As-salihu. What hal is this? Halatul raf. How do we know it's halatul raf? The sign u. Halatul raf in the singular form is either u or un. Good. In halatul nasb, as-salihu is going to be as-salihah. And how do we know it's halatul nasb? Because of the fatha sign. And in jar, as-salihah is going to be as-salihi. And we see the sign there, the kasra, that is dhahira. New word. The kasra, that is dhahira, the kasra that is apparent. You can see it there, so you know that it is in that hal. Okay? Muthanna, as-salihu. How is it going to look when it is dual and it is in halatul raf? As-salihani, nasb and jar. As-salihaini, as-salihaini. Excellent. So, muslimun. Do you have muslimun on your page? No. Okay, so this is extra. Muslimun. And this is, I think, this is the example, yes. This is the example that you have again, that we're going to do. So, muslimun, halatul raf. Muslimun in halatul nasb. Musliman in halatul jar. Muslimin. Muslimun dual. Muslimani becomes Muslimaini, becomes Muslimaini. Excellent. Al-Muslimu becomes Al-Muslima. Al-Muslima becomes Al-Muslimi. In the dual form, Al-Muslimani, Al-Muslimaini, Al-Muslimaini. Okay, I'm sure everyone has that. Is there any questions on this? Okay, so just in summary of this particular lesson, you're always going to have the word in one of three hals. Raf, nasb, or jar. There's going to be signs for that. When a singular word, a mufrad word, is in halatul raf, it's going to be u or un. If it's in halatu nasb, it's going to be a or an. If it's in halatu jar, it's going to be I or in. When it becomes dual, muthanna, you're going to add something. What are you going to add? Ani. Ani tells you that it's in halatu raf, and ani tells you that it is dual. Ani tells you that it's dual, and ani tells you that it's halatu raf. Same thing. Just turning it around. Don't get confused. And then it becomes aini. Aini is nasb or jar. Aini is going to tell you that the word is dual. Aini that's going to tell you that the word is halatu nasb or jar. And inshallah, for those that are going to stay with, you're going to know what causes the word to be in halatu nasb or jar, inshallah. Khair. Let's look at what's next. Okay, so jam. We're now going to get into plurals. Plurals. Jam. Jam means plural. Okay, so do you have a note on that? No? Okay, so when we talk about jam is going to be broken into one of three categories. You're going to have your sound, masculine, plural. You're going to have a sound, masculine, plural. Then you can have a sound, feminine, plural. And you can also have what is known as a broken plural. Plurals are going to be broken into one of three. Sound, masculine, plural. Jam. What is the word for masculine? Mudhakkar. So it's jam, mudhakkar, and sound intact salim. So you're going to get a jam, mudhakkar, salim word. Jam, mudhakkar, salim word. That's one category. It's your jam, it's your plural. That is mudhakkar, it is masculine. Salim, it is sound and intact. And we're going to explain that shortly. Then you have your sound, feminine, plural. It's going to be a jam. What is feminine? Mu'annath. Jam, mu'annath, salim. So you're going to get a category of words that is jam, mu'annath, salim. It is your sound, feminine, plurals. So they're going to be words that are plurals, but it's the feminine form of it, and it's in a sound state, and we'll explain that later. And then you're going to get your broken plural. What we are going to introduce you today to is the sound, masculine, plural. The jam, that is mudhakkar, and it is salim. It is intact. It is sound. Okay, so jam, mudhakkar, salimun, that is what we're going to concentrate on today. The sound, masculine, plural, and everyone say it with me. Jam, mudhakkar, salim. Again. Jam, mudhakkar, salim. Again. Jam, mudhakkar, salim. And what does it mean? Sound, masculine, plural. So for example, muslimun. Muslimun. This is a mufrad word. We all agree? What does mufrad mean? Singular. What hal is this in? Halatul raf. Okay. So we just did a whole lot of examples of making it dual. Make this word dual. Muslimani. Muslimani is dual. Now this word, when it becomes plural, then you add una. Una. What you add? Una. Now this word muslimun, which was singular form, we learned the dual form, muslimani. When you see the word muslimuna, then you know this is, what do you know about it? That is plural, it's halatul raf, and it's masculine. Una. Everyone with me? So the sign una is going to tell you that this word is plural. Una also means, like ani means it's in halatul raf, una means that it's halatul raf. Everyone with me? And then there's a change that happens that makes it nasb or jar. Like ani became aini, this becomes ina. Ina. Everyone got it? Ina. So ani becomes aini. Una becomes ina. So muslimuna is halatul raf. Muslimina is what hal? Nasb or jar. So una and ina. Una and or ina. Khair. Everyone got that? All you're adding here is una, and you know it is a masculine word that is plural, and it's either raf, una, when it becomes and changes to ina, it is nasb jar. Okay, let's look at the word kafir. Kafir. Kafir is a disbeliever or someone that rejects. From the word kafara, to reject. Kafir, the one who rejects. Let's change this word and make it dual first. Kafi, kafirani, not kafirani. No? We went our ras here now, nice. You know, you're rara. Now's your time to rara. Khair. Kafi rani, tajweed. Then, kafirani is a word that we're going to make sound masculine plural. What we're going to do to it? We're going to add una. So kafirun becomes kafiruna. Kafiruna. Skip the word there. Kafiruna. Kafiruna is telling you that this word is sound, it's masculine, it's plural. Sound, masculine, plural. Una is in what hal? Halatul raf. Do we all agree on that? Khair. And then it becomes kafirina. Ina is telling us it's what hal? Nasb o jar. Nasb o jar. So muslimuna, halatul raf, sound masculine plural. Muslimina, nasb o jar. Kafiruna, halatul raf. Kafirina, nasb o jar. Salihun. Let's make this word plural. Salihani. Plural. Yeah. If you make it dual, it's going to be salihani. If you're going to make it plural, it's going to be salihuna. Salihuna is in what hal? Halatu raf. Excellent. And then if you change it to halatu nasb jar, salihina. Salihina. Is everybody with me? Are there any questions? Any questions on this particular lesson? Any questions? Everyone understands that? Okay. Seeing that you understand, explain it to me. Quickly. I need a volunteer. One of the guys, explain to me what just happened now. What just happened? Bismillah. We're busy with the sound masculine plural. The word Muslimun, by adding una, we're making it into the plural form. And una tells us in halatul raf. And when it changes to nasb jar, it becomes ina muslimina. Can someone tell me that? Tell me what just happened now. Plural. Halatul raf. Excellent. One of the ladies. Bismillah. Anybody? I'm going to make a lot of dua for you. I'm going to make a dua that you become one of the future teachers, inshallah. Quickly. Nobody wants good duas. Khair, we continue. May Allah still make you teachers, inshallah. Ameen. Okay, so now we're going to have some examples. Munafiqun, dhakirun, sa'imun, mu'minun, ghafilun. What you're going to do is, you're going to pair up with somebody, and you're going to make this a sound masculine plural word in halatul raf, sound masculine plural in halatu nasb and jar. Okay? So let's do that quickly. Okay, when did they get the textbooks?
Today, they got it.
Okay, complete 9. The lesson that they're doing now. This lesson. Computers busted. This thing is doing this all the time. Okay, has everyone completed? No? Okay, a little bit more time. They had some issues with restarting, so they're never going to get it. Slides. Nasiha. Yeah. To just mention to me now that the exercise that we're doing, the books that you got today, it's in the book, but we'll do it together now, inshallah. But if you want to refer to it when you get home, it is in the book on page number 9. Page number 9. Okay. Okay, 1 more minute left. Drives in the Okay, let's look at the words. Munafiqun. We want it to be sound, masculine, plural. We want it to be complete. So we're going to add una to it, and it's going to become munafiquna. This is in what hal? Halatul raf. Una is showing us that it's plural. Una also shows us that it's in halatul raf. And then munafiquna can become munafiqina. Munafiqina. Khair. Munafiqina is in what hal? Halatul nasb or jar. Dhakirun. Dhakirun becomes dhakiruna. Dhakirina. Sa'imun becomes Sa'imuna and Sa'imina. Mu'minun becomes Mu'minuna and Mu'minina. Ghafilun becomes Ghafiluna and Ghafilina. Everyone got that? So everyone knows how to make a word sound masculine plural. Now there's something very important that I need to state here quickly. That not every word, you can't take any word and add una and then you say sound masculine plural, you know. Mashallah, I know we're going to have eager students and they're going to go around and they're going to put una to every word. But if you're speaking to anyone that knows Arabic, you might just, find yourself in a big trap. Because There's a way to find out whether a word is sound masculine plural or if it's a broken plural. Remember, we started out with 3 categories of plurals: the sound masculine plural, the sound feminine plural, and the broken plural. So what the question you might be asking is, why is it called sound? Sound means that the word itself stays intact and something is just added to it. That's what sound. Broken is when something happens to the word. There's a space in between, something comes in it, or something is taken away, so the word itself becomes broken. So for example, these words are examples of words that become sound masculine plural. But the word waladun, for example, you can't say waladuna. You don't get a word like waladuna. The plural for walad becomes awlad. That's a sound, that's a broken plural. Understand? Think of another example. Rajulun. Rajulun, you don't say rajuluna. Becomes rijalun. The word rajul is broken up, there's an alif put in. That's why it's broken. It's not sound anymore. Another example. Kitab. What is the plural? Kitabun. Kitabun becomes kutubun. The alif is taken out. So it's broken from its original form and it's made smaller. It's broken now. So the question is, how does one know if you add una or not? That comes in the dictionary. So if you look at any word, you go to the root letters. So you're looking at the word dhakirun, you go to the dictionary. Have you started dictionary work? No. Okay, so I can't give you the dictionary work yet. But basically the dictionary is going to show you. So you go to the root letters of the dictionary. Dhakara. You're going to go to the word dhakara. And next to dhakara, there's going to be a un to tell you that you must add una to make it plural. Next to the word waladun, they're going to give you the word in Arabic, awladun, and they're going to give you it in transliteration, awladun. And then you know it's a broken plural. Okay? So don't go around just adding una to every word that you know. No, that's not correct. You have to, inshallah, at a later stage. For now, the words that you're getting from us, those words, you know, okay, these are the sound plurals that we can just add una to. Sound means the word stays intact. Una or ina is added to it. Broken is examples like rajul becomes rijal, kitab becomes kutub, and so on and so forth. So again, just looking at what we've done, refer to group of males or mixed group of males and females, people. Okay, so this is just covering what we've already covered now. Muslimun becomes muslimuna, muslimina. Kafirun becomes kafiruna, kafirina. Salihun becomes salihuna or salihina. All the words before. I don't think time is going to allow us, but okay, just a quick translation of the words. Munafiq means hypocrite. Dhakir means someone that remembers, often remembers, referring to remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sa'im, the one who fasts. Man sama Ramadan, the one who fasts. Mu'minun is a believer. Ghafilun is the one who is unmindful. So dhakir is the one who remembers. Ghafil is the opposite of that. He's unmindful. He doesn't remember. He doesn't remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Khair. And then obviously the plural of that. Many of whatever we've translated now. Okay. Then if we look at our hal table, we can see how Jam Mudhakkar Salim fits into the hal table. This is how it fits in. So your mufrad word, Muslimun, halatul raf. In nasb form, Musliman. Jar form, Muslimin. If you make a dual, Muslimani becomes Muslimaini and Muslimaini, and Jam Mudhakkar Salim. Jam Mudhakkar Salim. Salim means the word stays intact, and just add una, Muslimuna, Muslimina, and Muslimina. Does everyone have that? Everyone understand that? Any questions? Khair. These are the signs: un, an, in, ani, aini, aini, una, ina, ina. Okay, this is a repetition. Mullah Khalil's slides that he sent to me last night, so I'm just going through it as it was sent to me. Un, an, in, ani, aini, aini, una, ina, ina. Okay? So memorize it, know it, understand it. If I come to you and I wake you up in the middle of the night, you know, how to raf, mufrad, you must tell me un and in. You know, muthanna, ani, aini, aini. Jam mudhakkar salim, una, ina, ina. Memorize it. It's very simple. This forms part of your hal table. At a later stage, we will see why it's important to know this. Every hal will have an effect on what it is in the sentence. So a doer, if the person that's doing it, he will have a particular hal. If he's the done upon, the one that's being done to, then he will have a different hal. The doer and the done upon can't be the same. So if you change it around, then you're changing what is being said either in the sentence or you're changing what is being said in the Quran. A very nice example of this, Surah Baqarah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَإِذِ بَتَلَا إِبْرَاهِيمَ رَبُّهُ. What is understood from the verse is, and remember when Ibrahim's Lord tested him. So Allah's testing Ibrahim. If you just change the a and the u over there, وَإِذِ ابْتَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمُ رَبَّهُ, I changed the u and the a. Remember when Ibrahim tested his Lord. That is serious stuff. Understand? So by changing the a, u or anything in the Quran, you're changing who the doer is and who the done upon is and so on and so forth. And thus we learning the importance of these hals. Okay. Let's see. There's still other work that we need to do. So this is again an example. Al-kafiruna. We're going to say al-kafiruna is in what hal? Hal-taraf, definiteness. Ma'rifa wa nakira. Ma'rifa, muslimina. Gender. Mudhakkar and number. This is jam. So now you got jam added to your list. Excellent. Muslimina. Muslimina, raf, nasb, jar. Halatu, nasb or jar. Is it ma'rifa or nakira? It is nakira, we don't see any al. Is it mudhakkar or mu'annath? Mudhakkar or mu'annath? Mudhakkar, no signs of femininity. Is it mufrad, muthanna or jam? It is jam, excellent. Muslimina, same word again. Oh, Muslimaini. Muslimaini. So just hold on. Muslimina is what number? Jam. Good. Muslimaini is what number? Muthanna. What hal? Nasbu jar, ma'rifa wa nakira. Nakira and mudhakkar mu'annath. Mudhakkar. Last word. Bayyinatani. Bayyinatun. Bayyinatun means clarity. Two things that is giving clarity. Bayyinatani, bayyinatun. This has a ta marbuta at the end. So that's a clue for you. What hal is this in? Hal taraf. Ani shows us that. Is it ma'rifa or nakira? Nakira, gender. This is mu'annath because of the tani that we see over there. And is this mufrad, muthanna or jam? Mufrad, sorry, it's muthanna. Khair. I just went through it quickly because we still need to get to the tutorials and our time is basically almost up. So again, a summary of what you did. Mufrad words, halatu raf, nasb and jar, muslimun, musliman, muslimin, muslimani, muslimaini, muslimaini, muslimuna, muslimina, Mina. Everyone got that? Everyone understand it? Before we continue with the tutorials, just explain this quickly to your friend. I know the weekend was very exciting. Don't speak about the weekend, just speak about the slide. Quickly, in 1 minute, explain to your friend that there are 3 hals and this is what it's going to look like in the different forms, mufrad, muthanna and jam. And then we're going to get into our tutorials. Um, the Quran reader, the reader. It's called Quran Alive. Sorry? Um, no, no, it's that book, man. Hada qalamun. Yeah. See ya. This thing keeps saying this. Like I can't start the computer and it does this. Is there any way to bypass this?
It is 100% complete.
No, it comes, yeah, hold on.
I can ask that with the subject. I'm not
Yeah, call him quickly. Okay, let's continue. Is there any questions on this? Everyone's clear on it? Okay, now the tutorials. Quran Live, page number 6. Quran Live, page number 6. So form group, and this particular exercise is going to be done in groups. Yeah. Page number 6. Okay, so what we're going to do in this particular exercise is you're going to tag up with somebody and you're going to go through these particular words, and one person is going to ask the question and the other person is going to respond. So for example, ma hada, what does that mean? What is this? Ma hada, what is this? And then ma alika, what does that mean? What is that? So dhalika, I think, is a new word. Hada means this, dhalika means that. Hada, something close, dhalika, something a bit further away. So the first two examples, ma hada, what is this? And then we see there's a picture there, hada qamarun, this is a moon. And then again, so what's going to happen? Someone's going to ask the question, ma dhalika, what is that? And then someone's going to respond, and this is the second one, dhalika kitabun. So each of you have to pay up, and one will ask ma hada, and all these pictures are something that you've done in the previous lessons before. So ma hada, and it doesn't give you the answer. So the person that has to respond, he needs to know what it is that he's looking at. So if you did your homework, you will know the vocab of these words. Khair, Bismillah. Just look what it's going to do now. It's going to immediately tell me that there's something wrong with it and restart the whole time. So I want to know if you can bypass it. See you, Darvish. Hey, just does it all the time. Anyway, we can buy more. I think a virus like vomiting or something. Just does it all the time.
Do it again now. Just go back and have a nasi hadi balana.
If you completed the page, and just do it again. Do it 1 or 2 more times just to get fluency. And when you ask the question, ask it like it's a question. So add some, ma hada, what is this, ma hada. Ask it like it's a question, not monotone, ma hada, and respond in a way that, you know what's happening. So do it again a second time, and then we'll go on to the next page. Get into it. Do it before it goes to that. No, it only happened today, now this morning, but I think it's because of a virus. I was trying to sort out the virus. Okay, let's look at the next page, page number 7. Ma hadihi. Ma hadihi. Hadihi also means this, but this is the feminine form. So hada is masculine. Whenever you're speaking about anything masculine, you're going to use hada, and for something masculine, you're going to say dhalika. When you say something feminine, meaning it has the sign of femininity, you're going to use hadihi. So ma hadihi, what is this? Speaking about something as feminine, or ma tilka, what is that? Dhalika, masculine form, tilka is the feminine form. So here an example is given of something that you asked earlier, about mu'annath sama'i words that are deemed feminine, doesn't have any sign. So ma hadihi, what is this? Hadihi shamsun, this is the sun. There we see we're using hadihi regarding shams. So the word is mu'annath sama'i or mu'annath sima'i. It's deemed feminine. We heard the Arabs use it like that. In the Quran, it's going to be used like that, in a sense that when it's described or anything is connected to it, it's going to be feminine. Okay? And then again, ma tilka, what is that? Tilka hayatun. Tilka hayatun. So do this again with your partner. Ma hadihi, and then the partner must respond for soul. I think it's probably nafs. Hadihi nafsun, and then ma tilka, what is that? And go through the rest of the page in that particular fashion. Did you get it right?
Into the screen of that shows system restore. So I don't know if it did the restore. It's going to log in and then ask me which point, but I don't know why it didn't show me.
So you gave a date for restore point already?
Didn't ask me if that shows to do system restore. We started and I just came here to log in again. So maybe it did it by itself or show the point. But has it gone past this before?
Go on.
Try one more. So slow.
I think it's missed it. Yeah.
Windows 10 is funny. Windows 10 was a virus. else is in the recovery menu besides system restore? And if they have safe mode, I think Windows 10 doesn't even have safe mode, or maybe it's hidden somewhere. So remember on the older Windows you just press F8 and then it goes into a menu.
So you chose that the first time, but then it just did. It's just.
You see, I want this, but then they're not telling me anything here now. I want safe mode, but then I just click here.
You can't restart and that other one that they give you. But
Just here.
no, start up repair. Okay, last 5 minutes before the break. On the set of instructions that was given for Mullah Khalil's class, the last portion is just used for certain advices that we can, pass on as a means of educating ourselves, inshallah. And I speak to myself first. I actually had some slides set up, but we're having some technical difficulties on the laptop. Darwish is trying to get into it. Khair. So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa ahlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وزدنا علما اللهم اجعل أعمالنا خالصة لوجهك ولا تجعل فيها حظا لغيرك آمين رب العالمين. What I think, and I'll try to summarize it in this next 5 minutes, something that's very, very important is the process of transformation. Process of transformation. Each and every one of us is on a journey, and each and every one of us, we're working towards bettering ourselves. We're working towards becoming better believers, better slaves of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ultimately, our goal is that all of us want Jannah. For this, there's a process. If you look at the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, they came from a state, what is known as Jahiliyyah, complete ignorance. They were in a state where they used to, if it was a female child that was born, they would bury the child alive. If it was, they wanted to worship, then they would make sujood to idols. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about their form of tawaf, and they would make tawaf around the Kaaba naked with whistling and clapping. This was their form of tawaf. They would be naked walking around the Kaaba, whistling and clapping. They would inherit women. So if the father had whatever amount of wives, and in that time they had 10, 20 and so on and so forth, and the father passed on, the son would inherit the one that's not his mother. The son would inherit, she becomes mine, and they would then have relations, and she had no say. This was the state they were in. It was a very serious state. And then change happens. Change happens to the extent that not do they come out of that, but they become the forerunners in good. They become the best of the best. It gets to that point where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives them the stamp of approval, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Radiyallahu anhum, that Allah is pleased with them. وَرَضُوا عَنْ, and they are pleased with Allah in return for what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is granting them. Some of them were given the glad tidings of Jannah in their lifetime. The Ashara Mubashara, the 10 Sahaba that were given glad tidings in their lifetime. Imagine you given such an approval that Allah says, I am happy with you. Jannah is yours. Subhanallah. The question is, what is the process? How is it that we're going to come from whatever state that we are in to the next state? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explains to us the process of transformation in the beginning of surah, the second verse of surah Jumu'ah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam came, يَتْلُو عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتِهِ. Number one, he recited upon them the verses. So they would hear Quran. They were amazed by Quran. But that was not yet enough. There's one story where the Quraysh, 3 of the heads of Quraysh, they were so blown away by recitation, they would go in the middle of the night when nobody knows they are there, and they would go hide by the house of Rasulullah to listen to his recitation. So what happens is 3 of the main guys, the one is on the one side of Rasulullah's house, the other on the other side, and the other on the other side, and Rasulullah is reciting Quran in tahajjud. And they were listening and they were mesmerized by the Quran. And as it comes to the end of his recitation, they then leave and they see each other. And they get a shock and they say, what are you doing here? They say, what are you doing here? What are you? You tell me first, what are you doing here? And then they come to agreement, we promise, we take an oath that we're not coming back. We can't come back. You know, we're the leaders. If people see us listening to this, then everyone's going to start following Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Next night, what happens? They go again. They're intrigued by Quran. Quran is something special to them. And the one hides again, and the other one hides again, and the other one hides again. And at the end of the recitation, they start sneaking away, and they catch each other again, and they say, hey, we promised, but you didn't hear, you promised. And they said they make another promise, and the next night they found each other there again, and eventually they stayed away. They were mesmerized by Quran. There's one particular incident where a person comes to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he's reading Quran. And this is one of the staunchest of the enemies against Rasulullah, but he wants to convince Rasulullah otherwise. So whilst Rasulullah is reciting, he's so mesmerized that Rasulullah comes to a point of sajida, a point where you prostrate. So he comes to a point of sajida, and this person is so mesmerized that Rasulullah prostrates, and he finds himself in prostration as well. And after that, he sits up and he realizes what happened, and he runs away. And then he starts saying, no, this Quran is magic, and so on and so forth. So it mesmerized him. It was something amazing, but it was not enough. So يَتْلُو عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتِهِ Rasulullah, he recited the verses upon them. Then there was another step. وَيُزَكِّيهِمْ, and he took them through a process of purification. Only through that process, when purification took place, then the next step could take place. Only when the heart was ready to receive the Quran, when the heart was ready to receive the Quran, then it benefited them. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَيُزَكِّيهِمْ, he took them through a process of purification. Then وَيُعَلِّمُهُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةِ, only now could he then teach them the Quran and teach them the wisdom, the sunnah of our beloved Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وَإِن كَانُوا مِن قَبْلُ لَفِي ضَلَالٍ مُبِينٍ, and Allah says about the Sahaba, and before this they were clearly astray. They were clearly astray. So we're going to hear the ayat, we're going to be amazed. And some of it is going to affect us. And when we leave, it might stay behind. And it depends on the state of the heart. It depends on the state of the mind. It depends on the state of the soul. Are we ready to receive the Quran? Are we ready to have it in our hearts? And are we ready to implement it in our lives? And so the heart is something that is very, very special. Inna fil jasadi la mudghah. Rasulullah says, indeed in the body there is a lump of flesh. إِذَا صَلَحَتْ صَلَحَ الْجَسَدُ كُلُّ. When this lump of flesh is correct, then the entire body and the actions are correct. وَإِذَا فَسَدَتْ فَسَدَ الْجَسَدُ كُلُّ. And if it is corrupted, then the body and all the actions are corrupted. And he says, Allah, behold, listen, O Sahaba, هِيَ الْقَلْبِ, it is the heart. If the heart is correct, then the rest of your actions are going to be correct. If the heart is incorrect, then the rest of the actions are going to be incorrect. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, قَدَ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ تَزَكَّى. Indeed, he is successful. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, this person is successful, he is successful. Who? مَنْ تَزَكَّى. The one who goes through the process of purification. And so this is the process that we have to be part and parcel of. You can go from Surah Fatiha right through the entire Quran, end up with Surah Nas, and it can have absolutely no effect on your life. Like these people who were mesmerized by Quran, but they still fought Rasulullah every other time. Absolutely no effect. And for those who went through the process of purification, it then affected their hearts. It affected their hearts to the point where they heard the next ayah, they say, Sami'na wa ata'na, I hear and I obey. In Surah Anfal, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الَّذِينَ إِذَا ذُكِرَ اللَّهِ. A true believer, when Allah's name is mentioned, وَجِلَتْ قُلُوبُهُم. Something happens to your heart. You feel something. My Creator was just mentioned. وَإِذَا تُلِيَتْ عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتُهُ زَادَتْهُمْ إِيمَانًا. And when the ayat are being recited upon them, it increases their iman. Allahu Akbar. Every single time the Sahaba stepped into the Salah, they stepped in and they got the message of Quran and they stepped out with a new mission. My Allah just spoke to me. My Creator just spoke to me. And so my advice, part and parcel of our journey, is that we step into this process of purification. And how is that? Rasulullah says, إِنَّ هَذِهِ الْقُلُوبِ تَصْدَعُ كَمَا تَصْدَعُ الْحَدِيثِ أو كَمَا قال. That indeed this heart rust like metal rust. The Sahaba concerns is فَمَا جِلَاؤُهَا. So what is its polish, Ya Rasulullah? And Rasulullah gave 3 advices on different occasions. Number 1, consistently keeping the tongue moist with the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Looking at the heart and saying Subhanallah, and the heart gets cleansed. Saying Alhamdulillah, the heart gets cleansed. Saying Allahu Akbar, the heart gets cleansed. Number 2, the second advice, Rasulullah says, read Quran, but with the intention of purification of the heart. When you have an intention, Allah then facilitates that intention. If you recite Quran for reward, you get reward. You recite Quran for guidance, you get guidance. When you recite Quran with the intention of purifying the heart then becomes purified. And the third advice Rasulullah gives, he says, أَكْثِرُوا مِنْ ذِكْرِ هَذِي الْمِلَّذَاتِ. Often think about the cutter of all worldly pleasures. And that is the reality that we're going to leave this world. And ask yourself, in the state that I currently am I ready to stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Am I ready to show my life's worth? You know, going to visit Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Medina. And next to him is Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. And next to him is Umar radiallahu anhu. You think of the fact of standing on the day of Qiyamah and they resurrected next to you. And they say, Ya Allah, this was my sacrifice for your deen. And you then need to present your life. Rasulullah, think about this reality and ask yourself, are you ready to stand there? And through that it will assist you in your actions. I conclude with a poem of Imam Shafi rahimallahu anhu, a giant of his time. Someone who today, through his efforts, hundreds and thousands of people are following the teachings that he has brought. Quran, making it easy to understand. All the hundreds of thousands hadith, putting it together in categories. This is how you make salah. This is how you give zakah. This is how you give hajj. And so on and so forth. At a young age, he's memorizing Quran and he gets to a point where he's struggling. And he goes to his ustad. And he says, oh ustad, I'm struggling to memorize. I need advice. Now I want you to think for a moment. If someone comes to you, you're the teacher, they ask you advice. I'm struggling to memorize. I'm struggling to do this homework. I'm struggling to do that. You're going to give them techniques, isn't it? You're going to say, okay, try this, do that, do this. What do you think the ustad tells him? The ustad who knows Imam Shafi to be someone that is pious, he tells him, stop sinning. Imam Shafi is shocked. I'm not a sinner. And then he makes a poem for us to think about. And he says, Shakawtu ila waqi'in su'a hifdhi. I complained to my ustad about my bad, to Waqi, my ustad Waqi about my bad memory. I cannot memorize Quran anymore. فَأَوْصَانِي إِلَى تَرْكِ الْمَعَاصِي. And then he told me, stop sinning. فَإِنَّ الْعِلْمَ نُورٌ مِّنْ إِلَهِ. Because indeed knowledge is nur from Allah. وَنُورُ اللَّهِ لَا يُهْدَى لِعَاصِي. And the nur of Allah is never going to be given to a sinner. He took a moment and he asked, what is it that I'm doing? I'm not sinning. Brothers, you're going to hear what it is that he done. You're going to fall on your backs. He sat on his porch one day memorizing Quran. He looks up. He sees a female walking past. She has a bracelet on her ankle. He's memorized the bracelet. He can't memorize anymore. He makes tawbah after that, and it is said that he had to close the one page because his memory became so good. He looked at the page and he memorized both at the same time. After making tawbah, after purifying his heart, and his heart was ready to receive the Quran. So I speak to myself first, may we be of those that is going to take the steps of purification, so that when the ayat are being recited in our classes and translated, that it affects our hearts. We make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows it to affect our hearts, so that every single time it increases our iman. Ameen Rabbil Alameen. Jazakallah khair. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. So it is break, and break will end at 10:35 inshallah. Extra 5 minutes as we did go a bit over time.